Hello and welcome to Module 4 of EDSC 591, your professional seminar in secondary education. As you can see, I'm on our titanium site and I'm going to scroll down to Module 4. In Module 4 is another 3-week module. So it runs from October 10th through October 30th. It takes you right up to Halloween. And it focuses on core proposition 1. Teachers are committed to students and their learning. The signature assignment for these 3 weeks is a student case study. And we'll take a look at that in just a minute. So in Module 4, we explore motivation and student learning. We examine the criticality of the student-teacher relationship. We recognize cultural influences on student learning. We discuss the importance of student voice. And we conduct a student case study. The student case study is the reason why this is a 3-week module. You should probably get started on it early, at least the interviewing part of it. In the student case study, you're going to interview a middle school or high school age student who differs from you in at least 2 of the following areas. And the more areas, the better for this. Ethnically, culturally, linguistically, or academically. So you got to get 2 of those 4, and if you can get more, all the better for it. What you need to do is make arrangements to observe this student in his or her classroom for at least 2 hours and obtain a lesson plan from a teacher for those 2 hours. If you are not currently teaching, maybe you find a way to get visitation rights to a colleague's classroom and watch a student. If you want to use one of your students, that's fine, but it's best if you can arrange to watch him on your prep time in another classroom, because it's really hard to teach, and teaching is a full-time job, and then to do the kind of observations you're being asked to do. Then you will be reading on long topics of motivation and stage fit environment and just a lot of really good readings in this module. You'll be asked to tie those modules to your observations of this student. So that is the signature assignment. Again, finding the student, picking it, and arranging to observe this student prior to that last week when you want to be pulling this together is probably a good idea. So we have 3 weeks. You're watching the Module 4 screencast. In week 8, we will have an online class discussion. Again, these tend to run 20 minutes to half hour. You can do it either Tuesday or Wednesday at 5 o'clock. This will be one of those Zoom meetings where we will discuss in more detail the student case study, and we will go over any other questions you have about either the work we've just finished or the work that's coming up. And then there's 2 activities during this week. There is a VoiceThread introduction to motivation, where I put a little comment and then a short 1-2 minute video, and then I ask you to think about why I might have wanted you to see this video at the beginning of a discussion on motivation. And the video's a little dated now, I'll admit, but I still crack up every time I watch it, so I'm hoping you will find it at least amusing, if not spark some sort of thinking along the lines of student motivation. And then I have an action-packed discussion forum. I have you watch a 10-minute video in which Daniel Pink basically provides a summary of his book, Drive. And this is a general, business-oriented book on motivation, but he does a good job of tying in a lot of motivational theories. And I haven't had anyone who's had trouble tying this back to education and students. Then I've produced a review of self-determination theory. There's been a lot of research on it, and I've tried to condense it into just a couple of pages for you. The part of it that applies to student achievement, student persistence, and put it into a really condensed form, so it's only a page or so, just so you know what it says about motivation, student motivation. And that's where you start a discussion thread in the forum and talk about how these 2, the video and the summary of research, how these relate and what the implications are of these things to education in general and to your practice in particular. And then I ask you to watch Angela Lee Duckworth, and I give you I think it's 2 pages again, just a brief write-up of some of her deliberate practice notes on the power of passion and perseverance. She's all about grit. She'll discuss grit. And then in your responses to your colleagues, that's where you should try and reference the Angela Lee Duckworth's work on grit. And that's this discussion forum. So a VoiceFred introduction and then a pretty meaty discussion forum for you in the first week, week 8. In week 9, I have a video that if you don't cry, you'll be the first. I want you to watch Immersion. Again, it's an older video, but it's been used for a reason in this class and in many classrooms for teachers around the country. And I want you to notice the interactions between Moises and his classmates and teachers. And then we have some readings. Stage Environment Fit Theory. I apologize for this. This is a very bad copied. This is the best I could get the library to get me out of a large research encyclopedia. I'm still working to get a more accessible version of this, but in lieu of this, the next best thing is like a 25 page articles, and they're just, this I thought is a little more digestible, except in the format it's in. And then Preparing for Culturally Responsive Teaching by Gay. Basically, there's like 30 references we used to choose 5 or 6 from, and I've tried to narrow it down to 2 that I think cover the wide gamut of examining culturally relevant pedagogy for this discussion. Those are the 2 things you work on in week 9. There's just 2 discussion creds. One you're watching, the other you're reading. And then finally in week 10, I have you do a couple of my favorite readings, A View from the Lighthouse and Students as Expert Witnesses of Teaching and Learning. And then I ask you, instead of writing your response to the questions, I ask you to give me it in your voice. So you can record it. You can record it on your phone and upload the voice recording. You can do a talking head video like we did at the beginning. You can do a voice thread. You can talk over a PowerPoint. You can do anything you want, but I want to hear your voice in the response to this discussion post. Finally, at the end of these 3 weeks, on October 30th, your student case study is due. As always, I want your opinion about some of the things we do in this module because they're different than the other modules that we've done. I'm here. I look forward to seeing you online. You can always email me with any questions or concerns. Please enjoy this module.